Ladies and gentlemen, coming soon, a podcast you've all been waiting for. The Movie Podcast to end all movie podcasts. A podcast that discusses and critiques the best of the best and the worst of the worst movies playing at a theater near you. With a host whose opinions have been deemed as fact by your favorite fact checkers. And that's a fact. Without further ado, let me introduce you to the movie maestro, the tyrant of theater, the gumshoe of review, the man that makes theater employees and Hollywood execs shiver by his mere presence. Ladies and gentlemen, the judge, the jury, the sultan of cinema, Justin Henson! Welcome to the Movie Wire.
Welcome to the special edition of the Movie Wire. I'm your host, Justin Henson. Tomorrow is the big night, the 94th Annual Academy Awards. This year has been surrounded around some hot drama, some sizzling news, and some Twitter hatred towards the Academy based on some decisions. On this episode, we'll cover a couple of those, along with the who should win and who will win. Want to hear my opinion? Let's get into it. Right before we get into the who will win and who should win topic, let's get into a couple things that were announced from the Academy right before the Oscars. As a lot of you read that the Academy cut 8 categories from the live broadcast. They just announced in the beginning of the month they will be back in the show in some form, in a new edited version, a shorter version. The categories that they were going to cut was Best Film Editing, Best Makeup and Hairstyling, Best Original Score, Best Production Design, Best Short Animated Film, Best Short Live Action, and Best Sound. They will be back in the live stream, but again, a shortened and edited version. All they did was put a Band-Aid on the Twitter bashing that they got. And this is still an insult to most, and I'm going to get into why. A lot of people look forward to this in their entire lives. They work their asses off to get to even be in the room with a lot of these of their peers, a lot of their stars, to accept one of the biggest honors from filmmaking. And all of a sudden, they just rip that from a lot of these talented creators. So, but what really digs the knife deep in this one is they are doing a live performance of a movie from Encanto that isn't even nominated for an Academy Award. They are doing a live show of We Don't Talk About Bruno, which the song's been on the top charts for a little bit now, but it has nothing to do with the Oscars. Again, the movie is nominated for a couple of Oscars, but the song has no place in it because it's not nominated. By taking up that time, it took away from that categories. But not only that, let's take away the 2 to 4 hours of watching people in their fashion sense walking down a red carpet to get into the theater. To me, I'd rather see the artist accept the award, be grateful for the award, and give us some inspiring words, and to see their reaction when they actually get announced that they won. This, to me, and Hollywood stood up for it, Twitter, it was all over Twitter. This is the biggest mistake that they're going to make because I think they're actually going to lose a lot of viewers, not gain. If they think they're going to gain viewers by a live performance of We Don't Talk About Bruno, they're absolute idiots. So that's my rant. I'm going to move on. Before we do that, let's talk about the last idiotic thing the Academy has done. West Side Story, who is nominated for numerous Academy Awards this year, I gave it 3.5 stars in my review, and I gave a rave review to Rachel Zegler. She absolutely stole the show on West Side Story. She wasn't even nominated to the Oscars. She's the star of an Oscar-nominated movie, and she wasn't invited. This is another idiotic move by the Academy that is absolutely, I can't even fathom their way of thinking this year. So I'll be curious. Again, I'll be watching and I will be tweeting out a lot of the awards going out, with a special focus to the 8 categories that are going to be shorthanded here. I do want to give a special shout out to Rachel Zegler, who was the absolute incredible. She was snubbed for a Best Actress nomination. She was snubbed by an actual invite. The Academy should be absolutely ashamed of themselves. I can guarantee you probably Carrot Top got invited to this, but Rachel Zegler, not so much. I have high hopes the Academy was going to recover from this. I hope next year we can get rid of the bullshit politics from this show finally and focus on the performances, the creators, the filmmakers, the talent. Stop worrying about viewers, go back to basics, focus on the film, and let's get on with the show. All right, let's get right into the who will win and who should win. This year, with the Academy being all over the place, who knows what's going to happen? I feel tomorrow is going to be a very wild night full of surprises, and I have a feeling as well that the who will win is going to be a lot more accurate than my picks of who should win. I will save my best picture pick for last, so let's get right into the actor in a leading role. This year's nominees is Javier Bardem for Being the Ricardo, Benedict Cumberbatch for Power of the Dog, Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom, Will Smith for King Richard, and Denzel Washington for The Tragedy of Macbeth. Those of you who haven't seen Tick, Tick, Boom, this is one of Andrew Garfield's best performances. He electrifies the screen. It is a musical that he dominates. This is one of my favorites of the year, and I think it should have been nominated for a lot more than what the Academy gave it credit for. Andrew Garfield is my pick for Best Actor in a Leading Role, but who will win, with the Academy getting very political, and like I said in my review of King Richard, Will Smith has been Oscar-bound for years, and in my opinion, Pursuit of Happiness is one of his best acting roles that he's done. And if it was a different year, I'm pretty sure he would have taken away the Oscar if he didn't have high competition. But Will Smith does a great job in King Richard. Andrew Garfield did a much better one and deserves the Oscar. Next up is going to be actor in a supporting role. We have Sirhan Hindi for Belfast, Troy Koshur for Coda, Jesse Plemons for Power of the Dog, J.K. Simmons for Being the Ricardos, and Cody Smith-McPhee for Power of the Dog. So this one I've been very vocal about and passionate about, and this one's going to match both who will win and who should win. Troy Koshur from Coda is my pick, and he will win the actor in a supporting role on this one. I will be absolutely dumbfounded if this doesn't go in Troy's favor. He does an incredible job. I raved about him in my role, and he's won numerous awards since the Academy Award nomination. Out of any category, this is the one that I will be rooting for. Troy Koshur deserves it, hands down. This is the one I will be on the edge of my seat. I have a feeling he's going to take it away, but again, everything is up for grabs. But the Oscar should go to Troy Koshur for Coda. Next up, actress in a leading role, we have Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter, Penelope Cruz for Parallel Mothers, and Nicole Kidman for Being the Ricardos, and finally Kristen Stewart for Spencer. Now this one, I had to watch these movies multiple times. I had it down to 2 on who I think is going to win. Penelope Cruz in her amazing performance in Parallel Mothers should definitely win the Oscar. That's going to be my pick. Who I think will win is going to be Kristen Stewart for Spencer. That one would have come down to my second. Again, very great performances from all the actresses in this. This one was a very hard pick, but I think Kristen Stewart's going to take it away. She does an amazing job in it, so I won't be disappointed if she actually lands it. But that pick is going to be kind of up for grabs for anyone because there is so many great performances in those nominations. Next up is going to be Best Animated Feature Film. First up, shocker, shocker, a Disney film is up for Best Animated Feature Film. Encanto, Flea, Luca, The Mitchells vs. the Machines, Raya and the Last Dragon. This one I'm going off the charts with my pick on. I absolutely loved all these movies. Encanto was actually probably my least favorite out of it. I think it was a well-done movie. There's a couple problems I had with it. You can check out my review. My pick this year is going to be The Mitchells versus the Machines. This one was a very unique story. It had heart. It had humor. It's fun for adults, fun for kids. The whole family can enjoy it. It sends a very great positive message. The energy in the movie is absolutely incredible. But unfortunately, I think Encanto is going to take it. If it does, that is not going to be a shocker to anybody. Will I be disappointed that that one takes it? No, because I'm actually expecting it. Next, cinematography. The nominees are Dune, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. This year, I talked about a lot of the styling of this movie, a lot in my review. My prediction is going to be West Side Story. That would be my pick for best cinematography. But who will win? Oh, man. I think Dune's going to take this one. So I think Dune's going to take us by surprise, even though that one was on the bottom of my list. I gave it 2.5 stars. But I have a feeling this one's going to bite me in the ass, that this one's going to take a couple of the Academy Awards. But my prediction is going to be Dune. Who should win? West Side Story. Next up is costume design. Nominees are Cruella, Chrono, Dune, Nightmare Alley, and West Side Story. This one was, again, another tough one. They had some amazing talent on this one. And with all the reviews I gave to these movies, I gave high marks for the look, the feel, and the costume design. So this one was definitely going to be a very tough one. I do feel that Cruella is my pick. And that one is kind of the oddball out of the bunch. But the costumes added to the story development. They were beautiful. They didn't overpower. They weren't cheesy. And they just overall, the look and feel, it added something to the movie. Who will win? I'm going to say Dune's going to take this one. So Dune did, like I said in my review, had some very nice eye candy to it. The production of the costumes, it was very eye appealing. So Dune will take it in my prediction, but I had to go with my my heart on that one, and Cruella will take the costume design on that one.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nick. I'm the host of Nikolai's Kitchen, and I'm also the host of the annual Live Stream for the Cure. Live Stream for the Cure is a charity event where we raise money with content creators and podcast partners from around the world for the Cancer Research Institute, a wonderful nonprofit researching cancer immunotherapy, training the body's immune system to fight all forms of cancer. This is a mission and a future that I truly believe in. And myself and my team worked tirelessly over the past 5 years to raise over $50,000 for this cause. This year, we're aiming for our biggest single goal to date of $20,000, and we cannot do it without your help. Please join us for the event May 19th through the 21st, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern, for 45 hours of content from people all over the world. Together, we can bring hope for a future immune to cancer. The more eyes we reach, the more dollars we raise. Please help us in making this goal a reality. Together, we can make a difference.
Let's talk about some directing. Directing, the nominees are Belfast, Drive My Car, Licorice Pizza, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. This one was hard for me to decide. I was torn between Belfast, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. Now, there were 3 movies I was debating on this category: Belfast, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. I think these 3 films were very well directed. And I can almost guarantee that the one that I am picking for the best director isn't going to even have a chance, which is a shame because Kenneth Branagh does a fantastic job on this film. He adds his personal experiences from when he was a kid into this movie, and you can tell from the feels he gives to the audience that he put a lot of his heart into this movie. But I'm going to go for the underdog. My pick for this year is going to be Belfast. Well deserved. I think it's one of the best movies of the year. But who will win? No shocker to anyone. I think this is going to be on the top of a lot of people's predictions. Is Jane Champion's The Power of the Dog. That one is my prediction of who will take the Oscar home for best directing this year. Let's talk about film editing. Nominees this year is Don't Look Up, Dune, King Richard, The Power of the Dog, and Tick, Tick, Boom. All great nominees except for Don't Look Up. Don't get me started on this film on why this is even on any of the ballots on that god-awful movie. But best film editing, my pick, of course, is going to be Tick, Tick, Boom. I think Power of the Dog did a great job, King Richard did a great job, and Dune also did a great job. But the challenge is Tick, Tick, Boom with its fast-moving energy. The film editing had a lot more challenges ahead of it. Not saying that the other films didn't face challenges, but the energy the editing brings to Tick, Tick, Boom adds to the film, and it's noticeable on how good it is. So my pick's going to be Tick, Tick, Boom, but who will win this year? Of course, you thought I was going to say Dune. I'm not saying Dune, but I think The Power of the Dog is going to take it this year. International feature film, the nominees are Drive My Car, Flea, The Hand-a-Gone, Lunano, A Yak in the Classroom, and The Worst Person in the World. Now, Drive My Car is also nominated for Best Picture. Unlike Parasite, who won, I believe, both last year, I don't think that's going to happen this year on a foreign film getting Best Picture. But I do believe Drive My Car will take home the Best Picture. So that's who will win on this one. Honestly, I gave it an okay review, but I do think it deserves Best Picture for international film. I'm going to say that Drive My Car will win and should win. It has some good moments there. The only thing that held Drive My Car back, in my opinion, is the dialogue. There was too much filler in it. And again, I'm not going to, if you want to check out my review, check out my previous episode where I review Drive My Car. Next up is going to be makeup and hairstyling. The nominees are Coming to America, Cruella, Dune, The Eyes of Tammy Faye, and House of Gucci. So my pick this year is going to be, I'll say it, Dune. Dune, again, has some incredible effects. They have some incredible makeup. It takes a huge team and teamwork and challenges to make what they did appealing. And watching it on the screen, it was complete eye candy without being overpowering. Even though the review that I gave it wasn't that great, I'm still going to say it deserved, give credit where credit is due. I do think that it was some well done makeup and hairstyling. I do believe it deserves to take home the Oscar this year. Now, who will win? I also think Dune will win as well. Out of looking at the competition here, I think it's a no-brainer that Dune absolutely had a lot more talent and time and challenges to create the atmosphere of the characters that they had to do. So Dune does deserve to take home the makeup and hairstyling Oscar. Let's take a look at Best Original Score. The nominees are, good God, Don't Look Up, hate that movie, Dune, Encanto, Parallel Mothers, and Power of the Dog. So this one, I do believe Encanto will take this one home. It does have a catchy tone in it that I do think it deserves, and I also think it will win, and it is my pick for Best Original Scores. That one, we are matched. Let's talk about Best Original Song. The nominees are Be Alive from King Richard, Encanto, Down to Joy from Belfast, No Time to Die from No Time to Die, and Somehow You Do from 4 Good Days. My pick this year is Down to Joy from Belfast. The one thing that stands out from this movie is the music. There's not a lot to the soundtrack, but when the music comes on, it is absolutely enchanting. That one absolutely deserves the Academy Award. Who will win is going to be Encanto. Encanto has some great music to it that the more I watch it, the more I start to like it. Does it deserve the Academy Award? Yes, but I like Belfast better because it added to the feel of the movie more than I feel that it did in Encanto. That one would be my best pick. Let's move over to Best Original Screenplay. This one, again, is kind of a tough one. We had some great talent. I take that back. We didn't. The lineup on this one was absolutely disappointing. There was a lot of great screenplays out there, Best Original Screenplays out there, and I think they kind of missed the mark on the nominations. I don't know what the Academy was thinking on this one, but the nominees are Belfast, and For the Love of God, Don't Look Up is nominated again. King Richard, Licorice Pizza, and The Worst Person in the World. My pick is going to be Don't Look Up. I'm kidding. It's not. No way in hell. My pick is going to be, of course, Belfast, because I said it in my review that the movie is phenomenal when it comes to its dialogue. It spends a lot of time developing its characters, and we understand their characters. And I think, again, Kenneth Branagh did a fantastic job with this film. And I think that fully deserves our attention to win the Academy Award. But who I feel will win, unfortunately, is Licorice Pizza. Now, the dialogue in this movie, if you want to take a listen to my review, I think the dialogue at times is good. There's only certain moments in this movie that the dialogue makes sense to me. I don't understand it. The movie has its moments when it comes to dialogue, but I think Belfast needs to take this one home. So hopefully Belfast takes that one home. Next up is going to be Best Adapted Screenplay. The nominees are Coda, Drive My Car, Dune, The Lost Daughter, and Power of the Dog. A lot of great nominations this year. My pick for Adapted Screenplay, no shocker, it's one of my favorites of the year, is Coda. I think everything about this movie is absolutely incredible. I think they did a fantastic job adding emotion to the dialogue that also supports the characters that they're playing. I think this movie has a great conversation piece. They attack a lot of the struggles. They let us get to know the character inside and out. This movie is absolutely incredible when it comes to pulling the audience in with its dialogue, not necessarily a what's on the screen. But who will win the Oscar on this one? I feel The Power of the Dog will take this one, which is also a very well done movie, and the dialogue does keep us on the edge of our seats. So it's a dialogue driven movie. Both of these movies I'm almost tied with. At the end of the day, Coda has my heart, has my vote. I'm going with Coda. Something that you'll see shortened at the Academy Awards this year is visual effects, which is a shame. The nominees are Dune, Free Guy, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and Spider-Man No Way Home. My pick, absolutely Spider-Man No Way Home, 100%. And I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to be split on this one. I think we're going to have a lot of people that are Dune fans, and I think a lot of people are going to be Spider-Man No Way Home fans. I don't think any of the in-between, I don't think Free Guy, No Time to Die, and Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is going to be up for debate. I think a lot of the debates out there is going to be between Dune and Spider-Man No Way Home, where I gave a rave review about Dune on their visual effects. I'm picking Spider-Man No Way Home because they had a lot in this movie. There was a lot of stuff that they had to emotionally get right. They had to do it at a faster pace. Dune was a lot slower when it comes down to it. It was a beautiful shot movie, but I think there was more challenges and more talent that had to get behind Spider-Man. So they demonstrated a lot more in Spider-Man No Way Home of what they can do than they did in Dune. With that said, I think Dune will take it. Spider-Man No Way Home has my vote on that one. Next up is Sound. Nominees: Belfast, Dune, No Time to Die, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. My pick this is going to be the musical West Side Story. The movie, of course, when you look at a musical, sound should be the primary focus of your movie. And does the music add to the atmosphere? There's a lot of echoes in the background after the music that adds to the atmosphere. It's just not a backtrack that you hear of music playing. So I think with that said, Spielberg does a great job, along with the department, to create music and sound for the atmosphere of the film. I think this one is 100% well-deserved compared to the other nominees. But who do I think will win? West Side Story. I think this one, out of all the nominees, again, had the most to demonstrate excellence in their film. And they succeed at a high level on this. This one is well-deserved, and I hope it takes home the Oscar for Best Sound. The movie's audio, music, just anything overall when it comes to sound effects and music is incredible in this movie. So hopefully that one takes it. Next, let's talk about production design. The nominees are Dune, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, The Tragedy of Macbeth, and West Side Story. This one, I was up between 2 or 3 movies on this one. So who I want to win, and I will give credit to this one, I think Dune should take this one. This is my second prediction that Dune will take, is production design. I think they did a beautiful job with what they had when it comes to visuals. I just think the dialogue suffered to support what they were trying to come across. But who do I think will win? I think The Power of the Dog is actually going to win. So I'm a little flip-flopped on this because I'm a huge fan of The Power of the Dog, but I'm not a fan of Dune. But when it comes to giving credit where credit's due, I do think that Dune will take this one home, and I think it would be well-deserved. Now it's time for the Best Picture nominees, but before we get into that, let me just give some honorable mentions of a couple films that got, in my opinion, snubbed by the Academy this year. Do deserved a little shout out. If you haven't seen these movies, check them out. They're absolutely incredible. The movies are Red Rocket, Nicolas Cage's The Pig, The Card Counter, Parallel Mothers, again, was nominated for Penelope Cruz, but that should have been nominated for Best Picture. Respect with Jennifer Hudson. I think this one was a big snub. I think Jennifer Hudson did a fantastic job in that movie and definitely deserved to be nominated for Best Actress. And The Tender Bar. All these are great films that everybody should check out. I think they totally got snubbed by the Academy this year. And any one of those films could have taken the place of the movie that doesn't belong in the Best Picture category of Don't Look Up. That movie should no way, shape, or form be nominated for one Academy Award versus all the Academy Awards are nominated for, including Best Picture. But that aside, the Best Picture nominees are Belfast, Coda, Drive My Car, Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, West Side Story, and the movie that doesn't belong, Don't Look Up. My pick for this is going to be my favorite picture of the year, which is Coda. This movie has heart, smart dialogue. The actors' chemistry is absolutely incredible. You can feel the pain. You can feel the conflict within the characters. This movie will touch your heartstrings, and it's my best picture of the year. It's on Apple Plus right now. Take a look at it. Take a view. It's almost impossible to hate this movie. That is my pick for Best Picture. But who I think will win, and this one, I'm back and forth on this one. Because this year, with the nominees, it reminds me of the year of The Full Monty and Shakespeare in Love when they were all nominated for Best Picture. I think this year is going to take us by surprise. I do think The Power of the Dog is going to take it, but I think this year it might go sideways on us. So I'm going to say The Power of the Dog will take it with a subtle tone. On the back of my mind, I'm thinking that Licorice Pizza is going to take it. But rightfully so, I would be happy with Coda or Power of the Dog to take it. Who should win? Coda. My second pick would be Power of the Dog. Who will win is Power of the Dog. But I think Licorice Pizza might sneak in there in some shape or form. But again, the Academy Awards, they're renegade this year. Who knows what they're going to do? The Academy has been very political on a lot of these movies. But I'm looking forward to a great night of these talented creators, these filmmakers, these actors, actresses, and I can't wait to see what the show brings us. So make sure you tune into the Academy Awards tomorrow, and make sure you follow me on Twitter where I'll be announcing the winners. You can follow me at MovieWire Show on Twitter and MovieWire Show on Instagram. And don't forget to pop me a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I want to thank everybody for listening, and what a great year at the movies it's been. So tomorrow we'll wrap up the 2021 film season, and I can't wait for the rest of the year of 2022. Up until that, we will be back for our normal episodes this week. And until then, support your local movie theaters, and we'll see you at the movies.
A verdict has been made on this episode of The Movie Wire by your host, Justin Henson. He thanks you for listening to the show. You can follow Justin on Instagram and Twitter at MovieWire Show, or visit his website, www.themoviewire.com. Oh, and don't forget to leave a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I'm sure he'd love to hear from you. Until next time, we will see you at the movies.